everyone. Welcome to Urban U. I'm Tinabeth, and in honor of Black History Month, we're here at Medgar Evers College. And I'm here with my partner in crime, Ari Goldberg.
We've got some cool stories for you this show. But first, a bit of history on Medgar Evers himself. In 1970, CUNY's upcoming Community College 7 needed a name. Martin Luther King and King's College were considered, but ultimately, the committee landed on what we know today, Medgar Evers College. But why Medgar Evers specifically? Medgar Evers himself is often overshadowed in the historical record by civil rights activist contemporaries. For instance, Evers has no national holiday like MLK, no celebrated autobiography like Malcolm X, no Presidential Medal of Freedom like Rosa Parks. In a way, Medgar Evers is an unsung hero of the civil rights movement, but one no less deserving of accolades. A World War II veteran, after serving his country abroad, he took up the battle to fight for his country at home as well, championing racial justice as the first field officer for the NAACP in his home of Mississippi. In 1955, Evers would be involved in investigations into the infamous Emmett Till lynching, when the 14-year-old Till was kidnapped and killed by a group of white men. And in 1962, he would be instrumental in desegregating the very university that once rejected him, the University of Mississippi. Of course, all of this made Evers a lot of enemies in the Jim Crow South. And on June 11, 1963, mere hours after President John F. Kennedy's famous civil rights address that same day, Evers was assassinated, his murderer only being convicted in 1994. But as Evers said himself, you can kill a man, but you can't kill an idea. And indeed, for whatever accolades have eluded him, it is his ideas that have endured. And the success of Medgar Evers College is just one testament to that legacy.
CUNY's early childhood learning centers are allowing students to go to college while also raising their kids. Donna Hanover has more on this fantastic child care system.
Do they match?
Yeah!
A parallelogram. Let's count
the fact that LaGuardia had a center here for the children and for having them start so early, oh my God, it literally meant that I could go to school.
Ebonica Wilkins is studying mechanical engineering at LaGuardia Community College, one of the 16 CUNY colleges that have a child care center on site. It was great for her daughter Sophie, and now her son Leon loves it here. Sonia Evaristi is the director of the Early Childhood Learning Center at LaGuardia.
We serve children from ages 12 months to 12-year-olds. So we also have an after-school program. We have a Saturday program. Our enrollment is 219 students. We open from 7:45. We stay open as late as 10 p.m.
That allows parents to attend classes, but also gives time for internships and doing their assignments.
And I have homework, a ton of it. This is the place you want to have your kid. It isn't in someone's little basement watching, I don't know, PBS 13 all day. They're actually learning something here. There's so many programs. There's swimming. They go on field trips. They are so interactive with their child.
Janet Procell, mom of Damien, is also delighted with the center.
He actually enjoys being here and learning, so it means a lot.
The CUNY Child Care Centers are supervised by Keisha Fuentes.
We serve approximately 1,600 children, approximately 1,400 student parents, and we have 236 staff in our child care centers.
The idea is to help students who are also parents stay in college and get their education.
What are you studying?
Biology.
What do you intend to do?
Graduate. And then from there, pursue a bachelor's so I could pursue becoming a vet.
Oh, a veterinarian?
Yeah, veterinarian in the vet field.
The mission is to provide quality child care services to children of student parents and to also provide support for student parents to succeed in school and to graduate. It's a great service, and the student parents definitely succeed because of it.
Rosendo Koss had a small business, but wanted to study toward an accounting career.
I just wanted to come back to school and provide a stable future for my family. And I'm thankful for LaGuardia having a child care program because that's allowing me to do that. I would not be on this road to an associate's degree without this program here. So he comes here and he's growing with other kids and learning his social skills from the other classmates.
Fabian Hernandez says his son Riley is tickled to go to the same place as his dad each day.
I love you. We go to school together. Our commute here is together, and that's a moment of bonding in itself too. So he's more excited to come to school because I'm going to the same school with him.
There's also a feeling of safety because the children are right nearby.
I'm so comfortable knowing that I'm in class down the hall and my son is right here, just, an earshot away from me.
Student parents pay on a sliding scale based on their income. The CUNY childcare system gets city, state, and federal funding. In fact, there's a new $6 million federal grant that's being split among several of the childcare centers.
First of all, I want to say thank you for the support. Thank you for the funding. LaGuardia College Early Childhood Learning Center is able to open a new music program, so we're so excited about that. We're also going to be able to increase our enrollment from 219 perhaps to 20% more.
Meanwhile, the student parents are very thankful.
Is Damien proud of you?
I could say so. Yeah, I think so. His father is also in school, he's in college. So he knows we're both continuing, and I think it's a good example for him.
I love it here. What did you learn today? I learned how to count to 5. I can count to 20. Let's do this. He loves it here.
So the kids in these CUNY early childhood learning centers love getting a chance to go to school right near where their moms or dads are doing the exact same thing. It makes getting an education a family affair. I'm Donna Hanover for Urban U.
Dr. David Gruber is a National Geographic explorer, and he's always been fascinated by the ocean. Arbery Mitchell visited his Baruch College lab to find out just how lively a scene it is in the deepest, darkest depths of the sea.
I was always interested in animals. I was always interested in life and all facets of life. I love the fact that it's these animals in the ocean, these incredibly primitive, prehistoric animals that actually have secrets that help us better understand our brain, our consciousness, and fight diseases.
Meet New Jersey native Dr. David Gruber. He's a presidential professor of biology and environmental sciences at Baruch College. He teaches a science seminar for Macaulay Honors College.
I've taught a field class, tropical field ecology in Cuba, where we brought CUNY students into the Zapata swamp for 2 weeks, which was just an incredible experience.
He's also a National Geographic explorer, marine biologist, inventor, and adventurer.
Which came first for me, the adventurer, the scientist? I would likely say the adventurer. I was much more into doing physical things and playing sports and surfing. So really my intellectual interest in the ocean came later in life.
A month of surfing in Hawaii inspired teenage David to pursue marine biology.
Really, it was a raw fascination with the energy of the ocean. And in studying the ocean at night, there's just not that many scientists that want to go in the ocean at night to investigate all the mysteries that reside there.
Mysteries like why many deep-sea creatures glow in the dark.
Below 700 meters, there is no sunlight. Bioluminescence is the main form of communication. Animals are blinking. They're like, hey, I'm over here.
Bioluminescence refers to animals that give off their own light, like fireflies. They actually produce their own photons. This jellyfish is an example of bioluminescence. Fluorescent animals take in existing light and convert it to another color, like this rare biofluorescent sea turtle.
Right now, we're looking at 2 different possibly luminescent proteins. We're just trying to show if under the right conditions, they can produce a brief flash of light.
I'm a protein biochemist, so I express proteins mostly in bacteria, and I characterize their properties. I understand if they bioluminesce or if they fluoresce and what conditions they do that under.
Bioluminescence is being used in cancer research by lighting up cells. So for instance, you could put a bioluminescent gene on a cancer gene, and you could watch that tumor metastasize, and then you can actually see what kind of drugs you're trying on this. And it will allow you to, since you're lighting up the tumor, you could then notice, okay, this drug is shrinking the tumor.
And this is in practice now?
Yeah, this is wildly in practice. So we're off the coast of Fernando de Noronha, Brazil, and we are at a depth of 630 meters. We're here testing out our squishy robot arm.
Dr. Gruber is part of a team that developed a more humane way of sampling marine life using soft robotics.
It's our philosophy that can we use technology to be gentle? Can we use technology to connect us to nature? Our first project was squishy robot fingers, and we designed a soft set, and we brought this down to the Red Sea, and we just showed that it works. Inside the submarine, we'll wear a glove, and the squishy robot arm will do what the hand is doing. The idea of this squishy robot arm is to come up with a delicate way to interact with deep marine life.
Do it, grab it, you're in there. He's in. He's squishy robot fingers. Oh! Yes, well done.
Yeah. As a marine biologist, I never thought I would be working alongside some of the top roboticists, some of the top neuroscientists. It's this idea that everything's connected. I think students in the biological science major here at Baruch are kind of seeing that all life is connected. And by learning about the ocean, they could also learn about human health.
Barry Mitchell, Urban U.
John Jay alum and boxing champ Heather Hardy knows that everything you learn goes into what you do. And when it comes to her boxing career, she knows that her CUNY education played a huge role. Maria Valmy has that story.
I started boxing very late in life. I was 28, going through a divorce. I already had my degree from John Jay, but you know, I was working like 6 jobs, living with my sister, trying to support our families, and they opened up a little kickboxing gym in my neighborhood in Brooklyn, and my sister got me a gift certificate. She said, "I'm tired of seeing all you do is work and come home. You have to get out."
In a matter of weeks, Heather was competing in her first match.
From Brooklyn, New York, Heather the Hardy.
I got knocked in my first fight in the first like 30 seconds, and I'm sitting on the floor and I stood back up real quick, and in my head I'm like, you sold all these tickets, you better beat this girl up so bad.
To get knocked down in the first round of your pro debut and come back, and I think to win, is remarkable. You don't see, she had to win all 3 rounds, 2, 3, and 4.
That was the last time I went down.
20 undefeated matches, and a few stitches later.
I've had 44 stitches in my face so far as a professional fighter, and I can honestly say not one of them came, and I felt sorry I was a fighter. Between the adrenaline and perhaps my unusually high tolerance for pain, it never plays a factor into what I do. I mean, difficult times come in and out of your life consistently, and it was a difficult time when I started boxing because I was going through a divorce. I was trying to support my daughter, my sister, and my sister's son. Neither one of us were getting child support. Fast forward a couple years, I was getting ready to make my pro debut, and I was homeless. My house was taken out by Hurricane Sandy. So my entire life has really been riddled with tragic occurrences that I've had to fight my way through. But you know, boxing, they say, mirrors real life. It teaches you the disciplines of real life that you have to push through, fight through, bite down, and that's how I've always been.
And when Heather got pregnant while in college, that didn't stop her from getting her degree either.
I grew up in a lower to working class neighborhood on the other side of Brooklyn, and that's kind of what happens. Like, I was the first person in my family to even go to college. So I was faced with that decision. Do I just become a mom and do what all the other women do? Or do I go back? And after my daughter was about 4 months old, I went back and I finished, and I got to walk for my diploma. I was the first person in my family to do that. And I did it with a child, a baby on my arm.
Heather's baby is all grown up since she got her bachelor's degree in forensic psychology in 2005. She was recently invited to John Jay College to give the keynote address at a new student convocation.
I wouldn't be where I am without the discipline I learned in college, without the education that I got to understand how business works, how to create relationships professionally with people. I mean, you're walking away with experience that you can't get anywhere else.
Experience that has proven useful to push the boundaries of women's boxing careers.
When I first turned professional, a bunch of the girls who were professional at the time told me, this will never be your job. This is a hobby. Like, you're gonna have to work full time. They're never gonna pay us. Nobody takes us seriously. So when I first started fighting, I thought, what if I made myself a financial plus for a promoter? Like, if I sold a bunch of tickets, they would love to have me on their show. So my first show, I guaranteed the promoter $10,000 in ticket sales. I made $800 for the fight, and I sold $13,000 in tickets. Started to spread the word that newspapers, the local newspapers were picking me up, and local TV stations were picking me up, and they started covering my fights. And the more people who know me, the louder my voice got.
And in 2016, her efforts paid off. Heather's fight was the first women's boxing match to be televised in almost 20 years.
Showed why she is undefeated tonight.
Part of my career I dedicated to kind of narrowing the pay gap and like making people aware that all kinds of women can fight. You can be pretty, you can be really skinny, you can be overweight. Like, there's no discrimination when it comes to boxing. And I've gotten a very big following on my social media, and right through that has been encouraging other women, pushing other women, helping other women, but also other men too, right? Like, boxing is an intimidating sport for everyone. I think 2018 has shown us that masculinity doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be big and strong. So you have men who come in here who are really shy and quiet and reserved and intimidated, and then learn the beauty of boxing as well.
For Urban U, I'm Maria Baimi.
If you love to cook, but don't have the professional experience necessary to land a job in the industry, the Culinary Arts program at Kingsborough Community College is an exciting and affordable way to get into the business of food.
Chef Mark D'Alessandro heads up the Culinary Arts program at Kingsborough Community College, where tomorrow's cooking geniuses get their first taste of the intensive, creative, high-paced world of food.
So what's the difference between just cooking and professional food service?
In a professional kitchen, we need this exact type of service where everything is consistent to a T. I teach students to cut carrots into 1/4 of an inch by 1/4 of an inch by 1/4 of an inch cube with the ruler. Students are prepared for that so that when they execute a dish perfectly and place it in front of you in a restaurant, you have this aha moment. We can't do this at home. This is something that is so elaborate, so perfect in its execution. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of patience for students to get to that level. I went to culinary school at a community college right out of high school, and I fell in love with this idea that it incorporated so many things. The hospitality nature of people are coming convivially to this restaurant to experience something that I am playing a part in. I really got a high off of that, and it's something that we get to do on a daily basis in restaurants.
We are currently portioning the sizes of our Parker House rolls because it has to be consistent in size. For this recipe, it's 1 ounce each.
What attracted you to the program?
That this culinary arts program is in a CUNY school, so it gave me more opportunities to actually go to a school and not have to pay as much as in other culinary arts programs.
Chef D'Alessandro's program culminates in a formal service, reservation-only dining experience, and everything in this room is a reflection of the many opportunities offered at Kingsborough Community College, all curated by Chef Lisa DeLange.
In our dining room, we have flowers, but also the kitchen has herbs and other vegetables from our urban organic farm, which is right on campus. So that's a fabulous resource that we use. And we also have our vases that have been made by the Ceramics Club.
It's a wonderful thing to choreograph and put together and put students in the spotlight to be able to put those things together.
For Urban U, this has been Lisa Beth Kovitz.
For City College professor Tanya Torres, the Black Madonna isn't just a curious relic of the past. She's the perfect icon for the woman of today. Judith Escalona has the story.
Tanya Torres is an artist who sees her practice in spiritual terms. For her, painting is a spiritual act with a feminist and perhaps heretical bent. She paints Black Madonnas. But Black Madonnas are not pure invention on her part.
The Black Madonna usually refers to the Virgin Mary and Child, these dark images that are found in old churches in Europe. They look very medieval usually, but some may date even back further. This Virgin and Child, or this Madonna and Child, they're very mysterious because they are not even really widely accepted by Christianity itself, but people love them.
Historians speculate that her roots are in ancient Egypt, in Isis, the goddess of fertility and the mother of Horus, the god of day. Cults of Isis existed throughout the Mediterranean before Christianity.
I'm not a religious person. I'm artistically spiritual, I guess, or creatively spiritual, which means that I feel that my spirituality is cultivated through the creative act rather than a format or a dogma. Painting Mary Magdalene is my spirituality. That's how I express it. And for me, that's also a way to invite people not to feel that they have to be reduced to something they're given, but that they can also create their own ways to find that light or that connection.
That connection for Torres grows out of some clashing family values.
Both my traditional Catholic grandma that used to take me to church and used to teach me, and my very independent, a little bit atheist side that comes from my socialist parents, and I grew up between these two worlds.
Torres' fascination with the Black Madonna actually began with another biblical woman who has gotten short shrift in the Christian canon. Mary Magdalene is often depicted as a prostitute, not for Torres.
All my Magdalenas have been dark. This wasn't so much a change in the image itself, but more in the topics that I'm exploring.
Earlier this year, the Bronx Musical Heritage Center invited Torres to exhibit her Mary Magdalene paintings as part of their exhibition titled Bronx Rising, The Routes of the Black Madonna, celebrating the Black Madonna in her many manifestations.
When I was invited to this Routes of the Black Madonna, I immediately thought of Mary Magdalene because there's an association between Mary Magdalene and the Black Madonna through the Templars that were in the south of France, and they venerated these Black Madonnas. Their secret belief was that Mary Magdalene and Jesus were married, and she came to the south of France bringing with her the child, or she was pregnant and she gave birth to the child that she had by Jesus Christ. And that's how the original kings of France came about. That's the story. So these images of the Black Madonna in the south of France are often associated with Mary Magdalene. And there's a lot of churches dedicated to Mary Magdalene. When they invited me to paint the Black Madonna, I was working with that theme, but also with the theme of Mary Magdalene as a pagan priestess, as somebody who is human but is following this path of ancient spirituality. And I usually paint Mary Magdalene in oils because I like the luminescence of the oil painting. But for some reason now I couldn't work with those paints anymore. I started playing with the acrylics, and these acrylics that I'm using are pearlescent paints and lots of gold and outliners with gold. So I was able to give her this new dark face, but very adorned. She's more human and she's more maybe playful in a certain way, and she's very dark.
Dark meaning the mystery of life we all carry within ourselves. Judith Escalona, Urban U.
And to end our show this month, we'll leave you with a performance by world-renowned jazz artist and Queens College alumni, Cork and Holt.
And for more information on any of our stories, log on to our website at tv.cuny.edu or check out our Urban U Facebook page. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next month. Bye.